Okay, and thanks for keep waiting for me. Again, I'm happy to be with you today, and the topic that I'm going to cover is about SAP Solutions for Advanced Compliance Reporting. I'm happy also to have Victoria with me, joining me here. So we'll have a mix between English and Spanish.
Yes, but this time I'm going to see how my manager works. I'm going to be you.
Okay.
Okay, so
see, imagine when in SAP actually, she's actually like evaluating how her manager is doing, which is good, huh? So we will be covering the topic about advanced compliance reporting, just to remind you with the story where we started talking about the complete end-to-end solution for the tax management. And we said we have the 4 corners. Anybody remember what was the 4 corners for the tax management solutions? We said 4 things for the tax. Huh? 1 is for the tax computation, tax service, which can be used to compute tax. 2nd, e-document, which is used for e-invoicing, submission of the invoicing, which is mainly used for SII today here. 3rd is the advanced compliance reporting. And 4th is the tax compliance, which you use it, we call it after the fact. After you build your transactions, use tax compliance to say, if you have non-compliance transactions, where is the issue, how can I solve it, and all of this. Those are the 4 corners for the tax compliance. Clear? I will ask you the same question at the end of the presentation. Huh? Okay. So in this presentation, we will cover one of the pillars, which is ACR, or Advanced Compliance Reporting. And just to set the scene behind why we need to have a platform for legal reporting. Same like the evaluation that's happened in terms of changing in regulation, changing in the laws, which I mentioned in my first presentation, where localization needed. There is also different occasions or different requirements that governments will bring to our knowledge that's related to legal reporting. We can talk about tax declarations, we can talk about VAT reporting, we can talk about withholding tax reporting. So different type of legal reportings that comes from time to time in different countries where you need to have legal reports associated to that. We have used to deliver some of these legal reports in the past simply by going into the product itself, like the ECC, and we develop a report, and we just give you the report. Wasn't that enough? Could be at that days it was enough, because we have few number of legal reports, simple ones. You just need to generate, maybe print it as a hard copy and take it to the authority. But today, with the change in the process itself from the authority side, where these reports become more and more. 2nd, you need to send it digitally. 3rd, you need to get acknowledgement from the authority. You need to go even some type of auditing through these legal reports, comparison between the report run that you make it today versus whatever you make it last month or last period. So all of these requirements make it, there is a huge need to come out with a platform that can help you in this process. So just to set the scene, in the past, we were just talking about simple run of the report, but today we talk about complete process behind the report. This process is starting from planning of the report, generating of the report, submission of the report. So all of these steps is a process. And that explains why we have the advanced compliance reporting here as one of those 4 corners for the SAP Global Tax Management Solution. So those are the examples, as I mentioned, that we could see them today in the legal reporting domain. Could be a VAT return, could be a withholding tax return, balance of payments, asset reporting. Those are many, many examples of legal reports that you could have it not only in one country, but could be in more than one country. And at every point of time, you need to take output from here and send it to the authority at whatever format the authority asking you for. And that's the reason why we come with this platform in the middle that fills this gap between how can I extract the data in the right format from the system, process it here, and submit it to the authority while being able to track whatever data has been submitted for future analysis. Second important part is how, as I mentioned, the concept of generation of these reports differ between what we used to do in the past, where I just execute a report, take some data, and send it to the authority, versus what we need today. In the past, we just need to collect this data, extract it from different sources, put this data in a paper or whatever, and send it to the authority. But what I have usually missed at that days is the track of what I have sent to the authority, right? Maybe I run a report today, it shows me 5 records. If I run it after 1 hour, it shows me maybe 6 records. I'm just a simple example. I don't remember which version of my report I submitted to the authority. Do I? No. In the past, I don't. Because I'm just printing it and send it, that's all. I don't have a record. I don't have a log for these transactions. Let me put it this way. But with that changes in the requirements, with what we need today of tracking all of this, we need to have this type of tracking of the legal reporting process. So now I associate the word process plus report. So it's not just a report, but there is a process behind this report that I need to deal with. So we can definitely, in the classical old way, just extract the data, submit it to the authority. But what we do today with S/4HANA Advanced Compliance Reporting, and keep this name in your mind because maybe at the end I will add another name to that. So we have 2 types of Advanced Compliance Reporting. One for S/4HANA, we call S/4HANA Advanced Compliance Reporting. And we have another product, we call it SAP Localization Hub Advanced Compliance Reporting. For simplification, we usually say ACR. So we have S4 ACR and we have SLH ACR. I will focus mainly on my presentation over the S4 ACR, which is, you can consider it as a built-in module inside S4HANA box, while SLH ACR is an example of a cloud service that do similar functionality like the S4 ACR, but they are technically different. This one is part of S4HANA. The other one is a cloud service which can be connected to any other application, not necessarily even SAP. And that's the whole concept that I explained in my first presentation about that SLH. I develop a cloud service, I put it over cloud, and I just connect it to my system. So going back to S4 ACR, this is the platform that we use today to connect it to, or it's already pre-connected to our database to extract the data in the right format and send it to the authority. So from a conceptual point of view, these are how we designed the process from beginning. So we define what type of transactions, what type of data I want to generate in the system, and how can I connect the right elements of the data together based on the report that I'm talking about it. And then I have to define what is my, we call it legal reporting entity. And that's another new dimension to the way how we generate the report. So I always refer to the past, so to make it easy for you to understand what I'm talking about. So in the past, when I develop a report, I develop the report mainly as a static report, where I put the company in the header, then I put cost centers or whatever, and then I extract the data. Now, this setup actually can be even dynamic. So I can define what are the different reporting entities that I could have in my organization. Why this is important? If we look today from tax perspective, for example, I could have a group of companies. Those group of companies could have only single registration with the authority, right? That could be there. Or each company could have an individual registration, and even more complex. So these variations of how the structure of organization is there versus the way I need to report, you need to have a flexible tool that can help you to generate this report either in group level or an entity level, or company level, or even a division level. This is what we call it the reporting entity. So I define the configuration here, I connect it to the data that I want to extract it from there, then I run my report using a certain engine that's behind this ACR, and then I generate at the end of the day the file that can be printed like the classical way. I can have it in a PDF format or whatever, or I can generate it in an XML format, JSON format, whatever, that I need to submit it to the authority later on. So that's how the ACR is being structured and designed to help you in doing that. Definitely there is many benefits, I would say, if we try just to summarize what value I can get out of the ACR. Number one, it is mainly a legal reporting way. It is being developed and designed as a reporting tool, but designed to serve the need of the legal report. So if we need to say what's ACR all about, it's a reporting tool. But why it's different than normal reporting tools? Because in the normal reporting tools, it can be used to develop any type of reports. But when you are talking about legal reporting, you may have different type of attributes that could influence the legal report than the normal reports. Example of that, like what I mentioned, the reporting entity, for example. Do I need to deliver it here or there? In legal report, you need to store or to save the actual run of the data out of the process. Why? Because I need to store this as a legal document at any point of time. If I want to know what is the actual data I submit to the authority, I can refer back to this. If I wanted to have a comparison between my tax report run for January 18 versus January 19, I should have this data to be able to make this analysis, right? So all of these things define why I need to have this as a tool for the legal reporting. Second is the global coverage for this. So while ACR is a platform, but we are not delivering just as a platform. We deliver it along with a list of legal reports for many countries. And this is, we are going to see it in the next slide. And the third one is being a reporting platform. The process here does not stop up to the level of just generating the report. But we can do further steps after we generate the report. Submission to the authority, getting acknowledgement from the authority using the tool, run some sort of analytics behind the data generated from the report. So we can see at some of the reports, after I run the report, I can start playing with the analytics, seeing it on this way, or bring the entity to the top of the report, differentiate between different tax boxes or VAT codes or whatever. So all of this manipulation or handling of the data, which is part of the analytics part, can be also achieved using this platform. So let's have a real deep details on what could be the capabilities or benefits that we can bring it here. That's definitely, I would call it a summarized list of the features and benefits that you can get it out of the ACR. If you just compare this back in your mind with what we used to do in the classical reporting, there is a way much of features behind this. As I mentioned, it's a single platform. We support different formats here, the XML, simple XBRL, PDF, JSON, a lot of formats. It's a real-time reporting. There is an embedded analytics. So if you are using ACR for S4HANA, I don't know if have anybody here heard about SAC or SAP Analytics for Cloud, which is like the analytical tool of S4HANA on cloud. It's fully integrated and embedded into the tool. So once you generate the report, you can go to the analytics part, which indirectly call SAC to give you a graphical display and how to manipulate the data there. Then you have a data preview option. You can even still do manual adjustment for the output format once you generated it. Electronic submission with government interfaces, which is very important nowadays. We have some, what we call it complementary compliance attachment, which is when you generate a report here, it's only the data that comes out of the system. Sometimes when you need to submit this to the authority asks you to attach something to this report. could be a copy of your CR or whatever, any other legal documents that could be required. The tool supports you to do that. You have Audit Trail, which I mentioned. It's the log file of how you run the report, from where, who, and all of these things. And then you have different versioning of the legal output format. So you can have the same report and you do multiple versions, and every version could be even used for whatever time. Scheduling, I don't know where is the scheduling. Yeah, scheduling, this is also very important. Sometimes we miss the date of a certain legal report, or we are late to run this. And so you can just configure this report, schedule it, run at the right time. You get some sort of alerts. And you can even start using it as a planning tool, even for what legal reports at what time you need to generate. I talk also about these flexible reporting levels. So you can define at the runtime, actually, not at the design time of the report, at the runtime, which legal entity would be used for reporting at that time. That's also very important, which is end-to-end reporting process through reporting activities. So the process of the reporting itself being captured completely into the system. And if we compare this, as I mentioned in the past, for us, report in the past was just one click, you generate a paper. But actually, we used to do a lot of manual things outside of the system, like I need to take a date when I need to run this report. I need to assign this to a user. This person will generate the report, and this paper will be given to another person to review it and to confirm it and to approve it. And another person will take this paper to go to the authority. So actually, there is many activities. We used to do it in the past outside of the system. Now we bring all of this into the system through these things. We have scheduling, and we have also the ad hoc reporting. So I can either have a periodic report or an ad hoc, which I need to run it. And there is many other features. The Copilot enabling collaboration, which is some sort of chat box, which helps that can guide you even when you are generating your report, give you some tips and all of this. So many features, the extendability, which we also allow not only us, but you and partners can use the same platform to develop your own reports. So it's a simple tool, can be used by others, and it will help you for the complete process. Just to have an idea about the look and feel of how the application can be used, yeah, from an end user perspective, it's a very simple thing. You have one tile for the configuration of the reports, scheduling, and another tile just to run the reports and process the data later on. So this is a way how the look and feel of the product looks like. It's a Fury-based UI, definitely, being part of S4HANA. And you have your dashboard, which can be the main screen for you to track all the reports, the run of these reports, the output, the submissions, the status, and all of that. So just one dashboard that can be used as an entry point for the product at any point of time. So as I mentioned, we have, I would say, changed the concept of the legal reporting from just static, simple report to accommodating the complete process behind the report, starting from defining the parameters of the report, extracting the data, processing it, validation and generation of the report, and submission it to the authority. And at any point of time, the embedded analytics can be used to see and compare maybe different runs of the report. So data preview is also one of the features that exists in ACR. So once you complete the run of the report, based on the type of the file that you have it defined for this report, you can have a preview for the report. You can have manual adjustment also for some of the data if you would like before you submit to the authority. This is the ad hoc part, so which once you define the report, you make the proper configuration and you start defining when and how, who will run the report, defining these steps with a complete auditing data captures at any point of time. That's one of the most important aspects in today's legal reporting, is to keep the audit data always available, the actual data that has been submitted. So we store this throughout the process, so you can come back to this, know when and how this report has been generated. This manual adjustment also for later changes is also very important, which at some point of time yes, we generate the data completely out of the system, but there is some mistake, there is some issue that where I need to go manually and do this adjustment. Again, in the classical reports, in most of the cases, that was not possible or it was hard to be achieved. Now, can be doable through the manual adjustment. So you can penetrate the process at any point of time and may do some manual adjustment before you submit the reports. This is what I call it the complementary compliance attachments. So today's submission of the report is not just the report itself, but maybe with some legal attachments required from your company. So this is also possible here, so you can have all the attachment with the report before you submit to the authority. So it's, I will not repeat this again, but as I mentioned, it's a complete end-to-end process. We handle this for you, and it's just beyond the simple run of the report. Let's give you an examples of electronic submission also via government interfaces. So I'm not sure if some of you here, have anybody heard about the MTD in UK? Make Tax Digital? Yeah? Perfect, good. We have some people here know about it. So that was one of the recent regulatory changes happens in UK where the VAT declaration, once you generate this, it has to be in specific formats and it has to be sent to the authority and all of that. And our solution that has been developed there was completely on top of, ACR. So we developed these reports on top of ACR, and we use the, now I remind you is what I said at the beginning, we have this SLH ACR, SAP Localization Hub ACR, which is a cloud service developed on top of SAP Cloud Platform, which has the power of the integration. So SAP Cloud Platform provides you an integration capabilities using SAP Cloud integration, where you can connect to the authority. So the last mile usually outside of ACR going to the authority happen using SCI or SAP Cloud integration. So that has been developed using this, and the submission happened using SLH ACR to the tax authority. So that was the solution that has been developed for MTD in UK. And we have actually a good number of customers today using this. This is just an example of the recent use case for that. So being one of our latest and innovative products within SCB, so plus what we have at the moment, we have a big list of planned innovation and solution visions to come. Part of it is to support also the intelligent enterprise strategy. We talk about it morning. So how we can have some sort of a digital assistance, use a co-pilot. So while you are generating the report, you will have some sort of a co-pilot, so like a guidance. Somebody within the system will tell you next step should be this way. You need to check this. You need to make sure it works this way. The predictive analysis, so we are not just talking about the actual data of today, but even we can have some sort of a prediction for what's going to happen in future. Based on the actual runs that happened in the past, we can help you to make what we call it a trend analysis. So if your tax declaration shows growth, then maybe we can say to you the expectation in the next run to happen this way as well. So all of these are just examples of what we call it the planned innovation for ACR. And also we have what we call it global compliance monitor. This is something yet to come, so with a lot of disclaimers. But it's a complete dashboard. Sorry, no, it's completely a little bit dark here. I don't know the projector, but where it's not just you will have this Fury user interface where you have the tiles to run this, but even you can start using a compliance monitor that shows you behind these KPIs the legal reports that you define. So if I define some indicators, some of them representing my legal reports, like what would be my total tax, what would be my reported values to the authority in the last months, what, total purchases, total sales, and all of. So if I have some financial indicators in addition to my legal reporting that I would like to have a monitor for this at any point of time, so the global compliance monitor will be the dashboard that can be used for tracking and monitor this. Global coverage of the end-to-end legal reporting, that was the second pillar of the value add that we get it out of this. And if we see, we have today close to 150, I would say, legal reports developed on top of ACR serving all of these countries. So we have also here Spain. So we have some reports. I think you should talk now. No. You are silent. Huh? So we are talking about examples of legal reports for Spain, so you can explain this.
Okay, can I
yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tenía ganas ya de hablar con vosotros. Bueno, la verdad que lo que pone aquí que hay, estamos haciendo para España, estamos trabajando en muchos informes. Muchos de los que hay ahora, lo primero que hicimos cuando empezamos a trabajar con Advanced Compliance Reporting, lo que hicimos es crear una versión, lo que ya tenemos lo metemos ahí dentro, ¿vale? Pero no con todas las funcionalidades y capacidades que puede tener ACR. Lo que estamos haciendo ahora es reconvertir o hacer de nuevo esos informes para que tengan todas las capacidades que está comentando él. Hay determinadas cosas que no pueden ser, como eso de manipular según qué cosas que ha dicho, de anda, mira, tengo que eliminar esto de aquí porque tenemos por detrás el SII. Como tenemos por detrás el SII, que significa que ya le hemos enviado a la agencia tributaria día a día cuáles son las facturas que hemos emitido, le hemos dicho en qué informe las vamos a incluir, porque está una reporting que lo está calculando. Hombre, pues ahora de repente cuando voy a hacer mi 303 empezar a sacar según qué datos, pues resulta complicado, ¿vale? O sea que hay cosas que hay que cogerlas con pinzas cuando estamos hablando de todo eso. A mí me parece que va a ser precioso lo que vamos a hacer para España. Yo estoy trabajando en este tema y estamos trabajando en el 303 se ha hecho una primera versión. Voy a decir una cosa que la voy a decir muy rápida. Se hizo una primera versión y estamos haciendo otra diferente, totalmente nueva, ¿vale? O sea, que la que hicimos la primera vez como que no estaba muy bien, que la hizo un equipo y ahora vamos a hacer una mucho mejor, la están haciendo en Alemania, entonces está mucho mejor y no solamente eso, sino que lo que vais a ver y lo que le estoy pidiendo yo a la gente de Alemania, el 303, hombre, no se va a ver igual que lo que hay en la web de la agencia tributaria, pero va a ser muy parecido. ¿Sabéis cuando cuando subís el fichero del 303 que se ve, pues yo qué sé, en la primera cajita al 0%, al 4%, al reducido al 4%, la base, el impuesto. Pues así yo le estoy pidiendo a Alemania que me haga algo muy parecido, ¿vale? O sea que tendremos y veremos, porque en la actualidad no se ve, de esta forma veremos algo muy similar a lo que se ve en el 303 si vais a la página web de la agencia tributaria. Eso por una parte. Cuando habla de analíticas y siempre habla al final de analíticas, yo creo que es mucho más que lo que está diciendo. Porque antes de enviar esa información a la agencia tributaria, yo tengo la posibilidad de ir a esa analítica donde veo mis boxes. Bueno, ¿cómo llamamos los boxes? Los types. Bueno, los boxes que hay en el formulario, que te pone las cajas, las cajitas, la cajita número 1, que te pone eso, la cajita número... Bueno, pues en el Analytics puedes ver eso, pero lo puedes coger y decirle, bueno, ahora voy a coger el documento, lo arrastro y lo que veo es las cajas que se me desglosan y puedo ver todos los documentos que están incluidos en cada una de las cajas. Puedo ver el detalle e incluso en algunos casos se puede navegar al documento original. Lo digo porque el análisis puede ser a posterior, cuando ya lo he enviado, pero también puedo ver la información antes. Es decir, me voy, veo la analítica, pero ya profundizo, me arrastro el documento, veo los documentos y lo puedo ver todo por ahí. Entonces, estamos trabajando en un 303, que va a ser totalmente nuevo, ¿vale? Totalmente nuevo porque lo estamos haciendo. Estamos trabajando, bueno, no, estamos trabajando, habéis visto el disclaimer, ¿no? Estamos trabajando en un 390, ¿vale? En un 390 para aquellas compañías que tengan que hacer el 390. En el 303 estamos sacando y vamos a sacar el mensual, pero sabéis a final de año que las empresas que tienen el SI hay una parte que es anual, ¿vale? También estamos trabajando en eso. Y luego estamos trabajando para hacer el 349, que también será nuevo, el 347, que estoy intentando pedir cosas. Bueno, yo pido cosas y otras cosas que luego me las hagan, ¿no? Pero como yo las comento, hay un disclaimer ahí, pero yo estoy pidiendo, si hago el 347 me gustaría poder enviar a los proveedores qué es lo que estoy declarando y todo eso. Englobamos los informes por IVA, retenciones, también estamos trabajando en retenciones. Os tengo que dar una noticia muy importante. Francisco. Francisco va a llevar el tema de retenciones dentro de SAP, ¿vale?
Para no residentes, ¿no?
Bueno, empezamos para no residentes,
Empezamos para no residentes,
pero luego llevará más cosas. Es decir, bueno, lo digo porque vais a empezar a conocer a Francisco, que vivía en Alemania hasta hace poco, aunque sea de aquí,
sí.
Y ahora ha venido para acá y vamos a estar los dos.
Me está haciendo un poquito de spoiler, porque esto lo voy a decir luego en la otra presentación, pero bueno, sí.
Bueno, pero va a estar ahí.
Sí.
He's going to substitute me.
Ah, okay.
Completely, ¿no?
No, actually, no. He will not substitute here. He will work with here, actually.
Okay. And then
That's a correction.
Okay.
And we have actually a good session for Francisco today that talks about law to action as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Contaré todo esto en la siguiente sesión, os contaré un poquito más.
Pero bueno, va a estar, digo, para que ya lo conozcáis y que en vez de enviarme los correos a mí, pondremos su dirección, ¿vale? Y también podéis enviarle algún correo a él, que no pasa nada. We are going to split the emails, okay? So we are going to put his email, and then they can send the emails to Francisco also.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, that's something, okay, we can discuss later. So let's continue with ACR.
Okay, entonces, bueno, 349 también lo estamos haciendo. Importante, sabéis que estamos trabajando en el 349 para el tema de esos rappels que se hacen a final de año, esas notas de abono que van referidas a las facturas, ¿vale? Haz una foto. Estamos trabajando para también incluir todo eso.
That's an extension for other countries. So in the previous list, we have mainly the EMEA countries, so mainly Europe. And then here we have additional, don't forget we mentioned that we have these 150 reports. So still you have something for Americas, for Middle East as well. So we have an ABJ region. So almost, I would say, we have global coverage, as I mentioned, as one of the pillars for ACR, that this global coverage. And again, the value of this does not stop up to this pre-delivered reports. You can use the same platform yourself, develop your own reports. Your partner can help you doing that using the tools of the ACR. So we have a design tool coming with ACR that can be used to that. So hopefully Victoria can help you in Espanol how to develop this type of reports also. Last but not least is the legal reporting. So that's what I was just talking about. It is a design tool. That's also a very important element, I would say, of the product because we do understand the regulatory requirements in the reporting is not just limited to the reports we deliver ourselves. I'm sure with the messages that I shared with you morning, which is 170,000 laws in Spain only and back in 2017. Today, I think we are crossing the 200,000. So definitely, there is many other legal reports that we don't deliver ourselves as an SAP. So you as a customer would need a tool that you can use it at least yourself or your partner to help you doing that. And this is what we call it the ACR design time tool here. Give some sort of customizing and extensibility features within the product beyond what we deliver ourselves as an SAP. So this design tool will take you through a simple wizard, as you see here, step by step, what you need to do. It's honestly, I'm not doing now any more development myself, but I have seen this and I have tried it. It's really easy. It does not require a programmer to do that. Let me put it this way. So through this wizard, you just need to define what reports parameter, select the data sources. You can use even some of the data sources that we created at SAP ourselves. And then you start mapping this to the output format that you want to generate. You can reuse some of the schemes that has been defined. Define when this report will be generated. This is the events. And finally, do whatever validation and the report is up running. You can use it. So it's really simple tool, can be used by you, and at the end of the day, you do that. That is a complete view for how the solution looks like end-to-end, little bit technically here. So that is where the data is being extracted. This word, CDS views, is the key word here because this is how you define the view that you will extract the data using this view from your system. And then that is the second step of how you build the mapping and the report definition up to the reporting category, reporting activities that you need to generate. And then the advanced compliance reporting here, this is the way how to make the configuration. This is the run part of the report. So here, up to here, this is the development part. This is the configuration part, and this is the execution or run part of the report. So you run the report at which entity level you generate it, go through the analytics part, and finally the audit trail behind this. So that's the full components of the solution. As I mentioned today, we have this global coverage. So in one side, you have the list of values that you can gain out of this. On the other side here is the integration with the authorities. You have different roles can be linked to the system. So you have the configurator role who define and create this report. And then you have the business user role who just runs the report. And then you have a person here who can review and monitor this through the dashboard that we have seen it also here. So that gives the overall complete picture from usage perspective. And here you have the development roles. Those are more the technical people who could develop additional reports on top of this platform. So yeah, that's a summary for what we have discussed for today for ACR from either capability sides or benefit sides that you will get out of this. Hopefully you find this valuable for you in your legal reporting journey. Tax is just an example of use cases for this type of engines, but it can be used for any other type of legal reporting that you require here. You can get further information from our Jam page and normal products, details and assets. We will share this, and definitely Victoria here. So any questions you should ask Victoria. So she is a local right contact for this. And thanks again for listening to us. Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, any questions, guys? In Espanol is okay.
Sí, allá. Allá. En inglés. Khaled, it's for you. It's for you.
ACR, is it only available for S/4HANA?
Okay. I will remind you what I said at the beginning of my presentation. We have two products. One is called S4 ACR. That's only available for S/4HANA, which is a built-in module. So if you are not an S/4HANA using ECC or whatever, then we have SLH ACR, which is another product as a cloud service that you need to connect it to whatever database you have and generate. But they are not completely equal, just to put a proper expectation. So the list of the 150 reports that you have seen here is mainly for S4 ACR. But for SLH, it's not there.
Next question, when you start using this product, do you have access to the full range of countries, or do you have to pay per country you need?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, you have full access for all the countries. So yeah, I'm not a salesperson, but I can tell you the license for this product is not based on countries, but it's based, if I'm not mistaken, maybe revenue or something like that. So it has nothing to do with the number of countries that you are going to use it, simply.
And does it come with the connections with any tax authority?
The connection with the tax authorities from our side, it's included, but definitely from authority side and requirements there, it's something you would need maybe to handle it with the authority.
Esta no, por ejemplo, en el caso de España, por ahora, que bueno, voy a hablar con ellos esta tarde, por lo general sabéis que lo que haces es generar el TXT y luego lo subes. Entonces aquí se genera. Entonces, si ellos están poniendo algún tipo de web service o algo para poderlo subir de auto, entonces lo analizaremos. Lo que quiero decir que no en todos los países tenemos la posibilidad de como hacemos con el SI, ¿no? Que automáticamente lo enviamos. Es país por país que dependiendo de las herramientas que ponga la agencia tributaria para poder hacerlo. ¿Vale?
And does it mean that with this product, SAP is going to stop releasing all these nodes to, to install, to have access to new requirements?
Okay, let me put it this way. All future legal reports that we will deliver from a localization perspective will be on top of ACR. So we will not develop any more, as I mentioned, the classical report inside the box of S4 or ECC anymore. We will just use this as a platform. So what we have in the past will remain there, either on top of ACR or the classical report part of ECC. We maintain if there is any legal change on that, we maintain it, we support it. So that is still running. But for any new reports that we are going to develop, we will be only developing it on top of ACR.
Okay, so basically, once you move to S/4HANA, the only way you have to get access to any statutory reporting or any online submission, etc.,
is ACR.
with this product.
Exactly.
Sí, lo que sí que es cierto es que los informes que ya existían antes están incluidos como sin tener que pagar por ellos, ¿vale? En S/4HANA, sí, pero están incluidos en ACR sin pagar por ellos. O sea, los que ya tenías. Si se hace algo nuevo, entonces sí.
Pero pásame, o sea, a mí no me trabaja lo de la ACR con el servicio que tenéis mostrado y que con el SAP Cloud Platform. Y algo, porque yo entiendo que estás en un servicio que está en el Cloud Platform. Bueno, y el SAP también está en el Cloud Platform, pero ¿cómo encaja? O como sí, que también es un servicio de Cloud Platform.
A ver, son servicios que consumes. Todos son servicios, ¿vale? Que consumes o no. Pero lo que no entiendo es que me quieres decir que cómo encaja.
Tú, por ejemplo, contratas el servicio del
El de UK.
ACR.
Ah, no. Tú tienes la herramienta, tú tienes el ACR, ¿vale?
¿Tú tienes el sí y tienes el UK?
No, el UK. Mira, luego tenemos una presentación que la hará Olivia, que está allá. ACR es una cosa que más o menos es para un reporting y luego tenemos lo del e-document que hicimos, que es más bien para lo que tienes que enviar a diario, pues facturas electrónicas y todo eso. Hay una parte que se genera, ya sabes dónde, con el AIF, en el caso de... Y luego hay una parte que es la comunicación con la agencia tributaria. Pues aquí sería también algo parecido, ¿vale? Pero son... Sí, pero son soluciones totalmente diferentes, ¿eh? Soluciones totalmente diferentes.
Victoria, if the question around the submission part and the use of SAP Cloud
If this
Platform,
is a service or what it is, okay, we're talking about to differentiate between SII, for example. SII is e-document and ACR.
exactly.
Okay, so
No, that's a different.
okay, but this is in cloud. Is a service.
No, again, if you are an S/4HANA customer, ACR is a built-in module inside S/4HANA. It's a licensed module like any other function or module inside S/4HANA. However, the communication part, the digital submission part, we use here SAP Cloud Platform, SCI, which is the same technology that's also being used by SAI. So we use the same technology for the submission part only. But for the complete design part, execution, all of that, it is inside the box of S/4HANA as an ACR S4.
Pero por ahora, por ejemplo, para España no tenemos esa comunicación, porque no existe comunicación directa. No hablo de sí, hablo de ACR, ¿vale? O sea, salvo que nos diga que tenemos algún servicio para poder...
Pero lo que estás diciendo es que lo que estás, entiendo, es decir, o sea, por ejemplo, un 303,
Sí,
reporte 303,
sí.
la emisión o la creación del fichero...
¿Está dentro de S/4HANA? Sí.
Pero TXT, no como está ahora, sino el
TXT, sí.
estará dentro del S4.
Sí. ¿Vale? Que después se puede hacer la parte de la comunicación porque nos digan que podemos tratar SCP.
Tenemos la conexión al SAP, porque el análisis y todo esto, esto no, porque no estás en el servicio.
Pero yo creo que la parte de analítica sí que la tienes en mi vida, ¿eh? Do you know the analytical part? For example, when I execute 303, I can see all the analytical data. Is this in S4 also?
Yeah, inside S4.
Sí.
And you have it inside S4, and by the way, it's even included with the license of that. So we give you a limited license for the analytics part, which is embedded inside S4. It's coming with the ACR itself.